romance scam. How about the romance scam? Romance scam wasn't there. Now, when you are Casanasa, I got to me there. And you, yeah, now, actually, my dad maybe so as next I'm S&M. And sometimes I was sleeping is no offense in you, not what you mean. Because there's no offense in that.
Right, how you the IB extra message so shall now subscribe, no one share, no one like it. And the amount of the IB and Tiana, I would check I copy more cut the third timer. I'm required, I'm a children. We need the third timer or copy more cut. I owe the IB extra so shall not one subscribe, no one share, no one like it. And the amount be on your be share, no one siding, and you be ashe. Until 11th of December, if I'm not wrong, 2025, and I'm about Trica, all because of romance scam be a course. I'm sure skapudo bi abepiem e won account me no na yeku for e den eye hwehwemu to abutrika e won fie no mo koso ne penchi enye on nko on ne boys too abutrika kan wa 3 e na mo chem say this investigation ma ye hs romance scam bi e course no sika no abepiem o mo nchen we na mo che abutrika e na omra mo din kotum wakopiem wo court 1 2 entiandra and the third time I copy which is 2026 and 13th January and I copy him. Now I'm not copying the last nature. I'm not going to do court on or more cancer. The Marco Tina HD baby. I see, say, and your mokra and eba. I be defending Abuteka.
Yeah, about quarter. Watching any quiz. Jesus Christ now, bro. And bra. Now we use Jesus Christ now, bro. Nande. What's our best friend? Quarter.
And I actually ma romance scam there. And yeah, issue be na say and yeah then emre bia abutrika ma yede omabuso na wo ni obi eden a hihye ho no wate ase wo busa na de no wate ase no de ama wa enye kro no de
the states in 3 weeks have realized that they can't find anything against them, so why should their liberty be curtailed? This should not happen to anybody. Even when the person clearly is seen committing a crime, it shouldn't happen to the person. Let alone a person that there's no warrant, there's no order, there's no evidence against to be held in custody. This is a travesty of justice. It's unlawful. The states, for its own reason and evolution, says that A2 and A3, they do not desire to continue with them, and therefore they should be discharged. That is what the state is saying. However, the judge who was assigned to sit on the matter today says that no, she's not going to discharge them, but defer that to the substantive judge. This is most unfortunate. At the last agenda, the court ordered that the state should have 5 weeks. If they have any information or any evidence, they should bring it before the court to justify why it will be, the court will proceed against A2 and A3. We have already filed an application at the High Court to have all the 3 of them bailed. And we have also filed additional applications to quash everything that is going on, because the illegality cannot be allowed to stand. So on the 20th of January, we'll meet at the High Court. We'll meet High Court complex. No matter what, the liberty of these innocent Ghanaians will be restored. Justice will prevail. Thank you. Romance scam. How about the romance scam? Romance scam wasn't there. Now, when you are Casanasa, I got to me there. And you, now, actually, my dad maybe so as next I'm S&M. And sometimes I was sleeping is no any offense in you, not what you mean. Because there's no offense in that. You baby and why judge? Now, the man Brown Ghana had it. What are they? What for Ghana when you know baby? Them that as a crime, or there, oh yeah, offense with Ghana, or something offense with them. So one common or romance scammer. Ghana ha me Mr. Terry be a lawyer no nyim za minyim nyina no minyim ni mo go bi se abambra to Ghana offer romance scam into Mr. Rowan one man hu asam na nyu adigi onye da American ti na American no so was in one in da ochna obotu ayo biara
into no lawyer no de ochna romance scam na allegation mo de to abutrika so no enye no kre
I'm not going to discharge the two. The two that the state has stated there is no evidence against. and rather adjourn the matter. Now, this is most unfortunate. It's almost unfortunate because prosecution is at the discretion of the state. The court should not have any interest, and judges are empowered to act. So, if a judge has been assigned to act, and the state has accordingly stated its position to discontinue and discharge two persons, of what interest, of what benefit would the judge say that I will not grant that? Just so they lose their liberty until then. But that notwithstanding, we could tell something funny could happen today. So we have already filed a bail application at the High Court, which will come on the 20th. So hope is not lost. And I want to say this. It's important that we all consider the foundation or the basis for which we are here. Our government wants to tell us that we have a treaty with the United States. Now, there's nothing like a unilateral treaty in this world. At least as far as our laws are concerned, there's nothing like a unilateral treaty. Extradition is reciprocal. We can extradite, they can extradite. However, the law which is being relied on does not give us that cornerstone, that guarantee. Since 1931, the United States and the United Kingdom have had two additional treaties, and therefore this particular treaty does not apply in the United Kingdom, neither does it apply in the United States. So if we cannot rely on that same law to have extradition made in our favor, why should we give our nationals up? It means it's binding on only Ghana. And this all what is happening adds credence to a certain position, which is clearly stated in that treaty. That treaty describes our territory, our country, as what? A possession. And we, the nationals, are subjects of His Majesty. So we are subjects and the possession of His Majesty. We gained independence long ago. We became a republic long ago. We are not subjects of no His Majesty. We are not possessions of any His Majesty. And therefore, we should all sound this to the hearing of our government that it is not time for our own government that we have voted for to take us back into colonization and endorse imperialism. It is sad. Things must work. The law must work.
We are told that you've also filed a judicial review at the High Court to pass proceedings here. Can you help us understand?
Yes, we have done that. You see, we hold the position that beyond the 12th of December, all that transpired, even beyond the 10th, all that transpired is an illegality.
Why?
The orders were clear. The warrant was specific. The orders were clear. Where to go, who to act. We all see NACOP. They've been with NACOP the whole time. What has narcotics got to do with everything that is already on? We all come here, we all listen. Has narcotics been mentioned?
No.
NACOP is what? An entity specifically assigned to what? Handle narcotics. The Americans have not mentioned narcotics. Our own government has not mentioned narcotics. And the orders of the court were directed at the police and cyber security agency. Yeah, those were the two. So what is NACOP doing here? Why are they being held in NACOP? And on what grounds, on what basis? What would really trigger our government to give up our national to be interrogated by foreigners? These are things that are happening. And we cannot allow these things to continue because, listen, like I said, today is these three innocent men. Tomorrow it can be anybody. If we don't, and let's get this clear, it's not the prime interest here is the law. It's the law that must work, irrespective of what he does online, what he does at home or whatever. We all have or doesn't do, right? The law is black and white. It doesn't say that it's for only people who do this or people who do that. So today you think it's him or them, it can turn around. So we knowing and believing very well that all these illegalities are going on, we intend to quash everything.
We need some lawyer and kind after we know I'm for baby professor. This lawyer able to me defend about Trica the fourth time on Bekwa Kopim and lawyer ni claim say on the 20th of January ombesa akopiem e wo court biem na ho e no mbekwa ko finalize bibia na omahu so mbeja abutreka ana omunja abutreka aha odi bi meso so hwa na wa subscribe na wa share na wa like e de ama odi bi extra na ya catch the big fish subscribe. I'm out. Bye bye.